Hello people and welcome to watch yet another Carcassonne Champions League league stage match. This is between the reigning world champion Xiangyu Qin and a Swedish master, Helge H. Who I believe is the only Swedish master there is. Maybe someday we can get also more of those. Now, quickly before we start, let's take a look at the tournament situation for them both after the first week. For Helge, I believe he has lost on the opening week against who was it against? Against Fox, against an RCP player, against Fox 13147. So over here, and Xiangyu has been able to get his opening win versus David Faraci with a 2-0 victory. So good on the world champion. Now I gotta say that, like, you know the Chinese player is gonna be is gonna be having the upper hand here, given his consistent rating of being at about 700 or so, and Helge does have a bit of fluctuation, and also doesn't have the world champion title. So I would be expecting maybe a 2-1 victory for Xiangyu Qin, but a victory nonetheless. And not to say that Helge isn't a strong player, he definitely is. And I have had the first-hand experience of playing against him, um, both in MSO and also in, well, on the casual side and on the practice side. So he's definitely future a future long-term everlasting master to become. And whilst we still have, well, maybe we have. Let's see. Never mind, we don't have. I was about to say let's check their match history, but we will not. Alas, the game has already started. Now this is of course a best of a 3 match, so 2 victories are needed for either player to win, and such is the case for the entirety of the league stage. Helge, starting player, takes the 4 points, no surprises there, and Xiangyu starts a city at the top, creating slightly more green squares, but making sure that his opponent cannot grab a road stick it towards the city, and meeple that for equality. Helge decides to go for an attack on the 1 point city, which I don't really fancy, almost at all. Does give also a city cap to his opponent, even though it was restricted as it should be. Then I mean, this city just isn't worth attacking to. Like, come on, it's 1 point. Like, why don't you just take a 1 point city cap and finish it like immediately after for an easier finish and with no possibility of getting like restricted into oblivion? I don't know. I have no clue. But it's an interesting choice, which I think will not be playing into Helge's advantage. Triple city for the Chinese. Do we go here? Do we go here? Do we go here? three quite strong options. Now, this one is going to be shielding off the attack coming from the left side. Although, I mean, okay, let's make an F5 move. Best move there is. Okay, so Xiangyu decides to simply restrict the attack on the 1 point city. Well, so far a 1 point city does leave a possibility for a divider. But there were also some other alternatives that Red could have done here. So, for example, go over here and start building around this square with by making a larger ruin and leaving this guy out stranded for just 1 point, or even go over here and to well, first of all, kind of almost force this guy to connect to this city, as opposed to making a city of his own, and then try to either, like draw this guy in, this 2 point city in at the bottom, or maybe try and restrict it to a starting tile later on. Monastery and a 1 point city for red, whilst Helge has been busy with the roads. Seemingly nothing that great that he could have been doing so far here. Well, with his latest tiles. But now, though, I mean, he could go over here, take a 4 point road, though it's not really recommended because it could be directed immediately downwards, restricted into a dagger, and Xiangyu had actually one of the, well, I'm gonna say like even one of the best tile, if not the best tile to do that, had Helge gone over here and taken the 4 point road, because restricting something into a dagger with a dagger is certainly something that you would very much like to see. Immediately taking away one of the three remaining tiles that would have been suitable for that square. Instead, Helge goes for a loop road, which is perfectly understandable. Leaves this road to be taken later with a triple city with a road or with a city crossroad, and now just goes for well, a new city for sure. I am surprised he didn't do it from here, giving himself a chance to finish the road easily. I guess he didn't like the fact that the city could have been that the city could be restricted immediately towards, I don't know, anything really. But like it's for efficiency's sake, I think this would have been better to go here with the dagger and just you know basically assume that you are gonna finish the city anyway, just because it was quite unlikely to get blocked at this stage of the game. But the choices that he has made now creates another monastery spot for red, which red also uses, and now is going to be able to stack those monasteries. Now, two of the three daggers, well, right-hand side daggers are out of the game, so there could be a possibility to try and restrict this monastery into the one remaining dagger, which could very well be an option. Red has a chance to maybe try and go over here to try and restrict the square of Red's road, to not get potentially stuck to a starting tile, but he has a lot of tiles to still go there. so that's fine. Continuation of the city for Helge is what comes down, although could have actually maybe even gone here. Would have been quite annoying at least for Red to deal with it, to have to spend a nice juicy starting tile to potentially, yeah, well, to get away with the starting tile. But it would then suck in a value tile instead of a regular straight road. Great tile for Helge. Finds himself with the city crossroad and does exactly this, finishes the road and indirectly continues the city. And I am, well, we're gonna see one of the two moves, either this, just finishing the monastery, or this. But given that this restriction is rather easily defended, which Helge could do right here, right now, although it is a very juicy tile to use for defensive purposes. So, I mean, the first thought that you want to make with the monastery is, of course, like going over here to 7-point spot, but you still have 4 road Doritos to go here and 2 daggers, and it would be and the city would be blockable with only 2 tiles. So 2 tiles versus 6 tiles is quite good odds to be able to finish that city. But it does go for the natural move, the natural 7-pointer, and he might be right. He can do this. Can do this salvation with any road tile really, but he has to get the road tile. That's for sure. And actually, any field plus field tile over here is going to, well, from red, is going to block the city for good, because there is then no tile combo that fills both of these squares, because a dagger is forced to go over here if anything, and there it just isn't a city field road tile in the deck. This is an interesting manner to handle, but so it ensures that there is a possibility to finish that city without running the risk of getting it blocked certainly. So now instead of trying to go for a road Dorito and a dagger, Helge is going to go for a triple city with a road and a dagger. But this is lower chances for completion than trying to go for a road Doritos, because now there are of course only two tiles to go into that square, which will enable the completion of the city, plus the 2 daggers, as opposed to 4 road triangles and the 2 daggers. However, the blocking chances for red are actually very low, because he only has 1 tile to do that. He can only go here with a quad city, because all the triple cities with a field have already gone out of the game. So actually, yeah, this doesn't seem all that bad actually. Yeah, I mean it's roughly gonna be about 50. I don't know. What would I say? 55% chance to complete the city, drawing both one of the remaining horses and one of the remaining daggers, and red not drawing the quad city before that. Monastery completion comes down for Helge, and the 4 points are claimed by red with a road with a road Dorito. And there is now also the second monastery of Helge in a decent shape. And now there are no vanillas in the deck, they are all gone. Um, but there is a divider still remaining in the deck, plus 3 field Doritos, which does make a decent chance for these people to get out still. The field is now at 12 points, and it's likely going to be even more at the end of the game. So maybe 15, 18, 21 maybe. Helge going for a full block on this monastery. There's still one tile to go here, the one remaining dagger with the right hand side curve, which Helge gets immediately. So now this partial salvation, this semi-save will not be helping red anymore, as there are no tiles to go into this square. The monastery will remain blocked at 8 points. But the fact that red does keep drawing the field Doritos is going to help him out a little bit, because every field Dorito is going to be a lost tile, a lost tile for Helge from the completion of the monastery. Now only 2 tiles remain onto this square. Helge makes the attack onto the field, which is now worth, well, still 12 points, but with the successful connection, 15 points, and this city looks very much like it's gonna get completed. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still 2 straight roads to go. So a 75% chance, roughly, for Helge to make the connection successfully. The one of the 2 remaining horses has been drawn, which isn't really good news for Helge. Now there's only 1 remaining in here, and he still, of course, needs also one of the 2 remaining daggers if he is ever to try and go for the completion of the city. His chances have been reduced to about 40%. Less, well, it's actually less than that. Um, maybe like 35 or something. Plus, the quad city is still out there for the potential block of the city. There's the Rotorito, even with a shield. Unfortunately for Helge. Ooh, well, this is a neat idea. Yeah, sure. So goes for a different type of a different type of a connection. Is now also able to use the daggers over here to connect to the 12-point field. Meanwhile, Xiangyu gets his city finished for 8 points, also drops a farmer, which does get blocked immediately from the top side, so to the same dagger tile that is required to finish the monastery, and of course there are no, there aren't any of such tiles remaining. But there is an alternative path to the field for this guy, and now for this guy as well, which is coming from the left. Now getting restricted into the road monastery. So an evil hamster spot, which is going to be truly a juicy tile for either player. More so for red than it would be for blue. Although, if blue doesn't get a dagger over here before the road monastery is drawn, it won't actually necessarily help red as much, because it's gonna be 9 points, but it's gonna take away basically 6 points from red, so only a 3-point move. And Helge not drawing all such great tiles, but he is drawing this. Maybe do you go with a farmer here? Yeah, now is the time to decide. Do you go with a farmer here and double down on the final dagger of the game, and maybe you are also banking, well, not just maybe, but you are basically banking, I guess, onto getting also the road monastery. Now, is Helge behind far enough for him to have to do such for him to have to do such stuff? Maybe, maybe might be. So he's -7, -15, equal, -14, -10. Yeah, -10, and this now 15-point field. So -25. Yeah, he's gonna have to do something radical. Now he still has a field Dorito to go over here and to also claim a 9-point field at the same time. And he can also use the road monastery himself if he so chooses. And he also has, I think, still one straight road to go here. Now decides to not go with a farmer. Decides to take it slow, which I think I like. An option for red is to maybe even go actually over here and drop a farmer preemptively, so that it's going to take away the opportunity from blue of dropping a 9-point farmer here in case he draws the field Dorito. Now it's a very interesting position because it's like so open. There are so many juicy scoring tiles. The dagger, the field Dorito, the road monastery, and the straight road, all of which play a crucial part for this field. And we only have seven unseen tiles for us, from which 4 are huge impact tiles. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how long exactly is red prepared to wait for a potential road monastery scoring. And can red win without it? And the answer is yes, but he needs to draw maybe both the dagger and the straight road. Yeah, he does. Oh, doesn't go for the meeple. But Helke unfortunately draws pretty much almost the only meaningless tile for him. And he does decide to go for a now preemptive farmer. Unfortunately, that means that he will be missing out on some points, maybe from this road or so. But he actually won't be missing out on 9 points from the road monastery, I think, because I think he has to just have faith on getting the road monastery and either one of these tiles to bring in the good points. Now, if he gets the straight road, he has to probably get like either one of either the dagger or the field Dorito, or if he gets just the dagger, he also has to get the road monastery. So he has 3 tiles remaining, one of which pretty much I think has to be the road monastery, which this is definitely not. But he can actually go over here. Yeah, he can go over here to set up the road monastery, so that at least he has something to do with it. Then he's gonna have to, well, never mind that. Well, he goes for a different idea, but I don't really see what this does. Like, it just makes the road longer, but really for no reason, because he has no people to take it. Yeah, I think Helge made a miss here. Oh, and you know what? Oh, that's a huge miss from Helge, I think. Well, maybe not huge, but it is a miss nonetheless, because Helge, well, first of all, he could have gone over here, but I think even a better idea would have been maybe even just to go over here, or just do nothing about this, because if he gets a straight road or a dagger, which, well, the dagger is now no longer possible, but he could then use a road monastery over here to connect these two guys and bring in both of them to the field. Now that would have been great, but with this move, he's basically destroying his plans of doing any of that. He cannot. He now cannot outrun the or overrun the field with anything. It's just not possible. And he does get the straight road. Yeah, I think this is very unfortunate, and the road monastery is drawn by red, unfortunately. So, also, I have definitely been wrong about the field Dorito. Huh? Oh yeah, one, two, three, four, five. Okay, well, I was apparently counting this quantity as, as a field Dorito or something, so there never was anything to go over here, which does certainly explain um, the the divider move by red better. However, it doesn't really explain this move then by blue. Like, why do you go here? Was your plan of getting like, I actually don't know what the plan here was. Maybe getting a crossroad and a curve or something. I really couldn't pinpoint that, because the straight roads you will always use, or the straight road you will always use here to bring in the 3-point guy, not the 6-point guy. Weird move, yeah, considering there was still the dagger remaining in the deck. But 27 points, so a large-ish win for red, but make no mistake, this was a somewhat winnable game, actually. Well, no, not just somewhat, but it was a totally winnable game until like the last 7 tiles, 5 tiles even, with a with a better tile sequence, with being able to draw the key tiles, Helge would have scored a lot of points and possibly even overrun the field. Not gonna happen this time though. That's gonna be 1-0 for China. And the fourth win is now is now at hand for Helge, as he starts off with with the starting player advantage, but has not been able to get a city cap for his first tiles. However, he has been able to get a city tile in general, seemingly so. And to start off now, a 4-point city. Wow. I am very surprised of this move by Red. I think it would have been just basically an absolute no-brainer for me to just finish the 8-point city and then maybe even threaten like a dagger, a divider over on this square. But Xiangyu decides to go for a extremely greedy stuff. Tries to go for a triple city and a Dorito, which I don't think is the right call here. Like with a 3-point lead, and with your opponent having only just like this similar 8-point city as a threat, then like why not just keep your lead and finish your city and have the option to come out of this as a winner as well. I don't quite get it, but okay. Monastery being drawn by red and is going to go into a control mode, so to say, against the 3-point city. Well, should I say against a potential 8-point city. And I would imagine nothing less but going over here. Jesus Christ. I mean, I can understand breaking the city, but like you have more pressing issues. Like this, like blocking or restricting this square is just so much better. Like this city is not gonna be finishing in like half a century still, whereas this city only needs one city cap to get 8 points for Helge. Like why not go here, restrict the city into a horse, and basically force Helge to continue the monastery and the city at the same time without the guarantee of either one getting finished. And that's always going to be resulting into a winning situation, at least momentarily, for for the monastery. Yeah, a couple very very dubious moves by the Chinese player here, um, who I certainly don't think has his priorities correct, but still has a good position. Well, let's say a decent position as he goes for a potential completion of the city. Now only requiring one city cap, but it is attackable from both sides. But the attacking tile does not come, and Helge is, I want to say, gonna be going over here for just monastery stacking. But I could see him going over here just restricting as well. Does do, I think, the more responsible action and just scores himself. But the city is completed by red, despite getting broken down with a quad city. Didn't seem to slow him down by all that much. Well, I mean, it did slow him down, but not enough. With 3 correct type of tiles in a rather quick succession, the city is finished for 24 points. Helge attacking a 3-point road. Why? Why? Um, great question. Why do you attack a 3-point road when you have 2 meeples in hand? Like I can understand these attacks with like like in like the first 5 tiles of the game or something, but it's not at that stage. Like we are not at the stage where 3-point roads are worthy to be attacked to. Curious stuff. Well, the triple city restriction has been made finally, and it is exactly what Helge has in hand and also goes for it. Which in his situation he has to get, you know, at least somewhat optimistic. And optimistic he gets by, well, first of all, drawing the triple city, and secondly, drawing the dagger immediately when it is needed. Red equalizes, well, not yet equalizes, but is close to equalizing the city. Also builds up the monastery very nicely. And do we go over here? We could. Or we go over here or over here to try and block this square for good. That is indeed what Xiangyu goes for, and it is also successful. Does leave the 8-point city out there though, which is somewhat good news for Helge, given that he is now behind. Yeah, he's gonna need all the help he can get, all the all the coin flips he can get to try and actually maneuver his way out of this mess. This tile is gonna help a lot. 6-point monastery, or just the 2 points, maybe even just the 2 points. No, goes for the entire monastery. Wants to take full advantage of it. Now the downside is that if he gets a dagger or just a city cap, it's not gonna be great time for him because he's gonna be losing out on points as opposed to being able to, having had a chance to get just these 2 road points and then, 4 points over here. Ooh, no more monasteries in the deck. This could be a very nasty restriction for red or for blue, let's say. But there's also a possibility of going maybe over here and attacking the city with a second meeple. Yep, we go for the restriction on the monasteries, with now only the vanillas being able to release that, and there are still three of those remaining. But first and foremost, it takes away so many tiles from blue to retrieve a meeple that I think it's very much worth to do. And the hole gets bigger, hole gets deepened as red draws the one and only dagger fitting into this square. Also takes the 4 points. Now he's leading on the scoreboard by 30 points and has 3-0 meeples in hand. Like, this seems just like super one-sided match so far, which I really would not have believed, given the choices, given the early choices that Red made this game. But it is what it is. Do we go for a 5-point road, or do we go for a attack on the city? And an attack on the city is what we go for. Blue finally gets back a couple meeples and can actually now do something with them. City cap immediately claimed away from Blue's grasp. Does get a straight road though, so at least that's something. It's, a path to potentially go over here, get a curve. But Helge says no. says no. Just goes for a 5-point road, which is also understandable. Now, the connection is made by red, and there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 Doritos, and an ample amount of city caps remaining into this square. So the completion of the city is totally in the cards here. Although, is it actually like after this move? 1, 2, 3. It is, yeah. There's still one starting tile. There is still also one city crossroad. But there are no daggers. And I wonder if Helge even bothers going over here. Because he might not. Because at this moment, the situation is looking so dire that he might not have the luxury to go for any kind of blocks. He might just have to rely on getting the best possible tile run out, which is a lot to be asked. But it might indeed be the thing that we have to rely on. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still one road Dorito to go here, so is it possible for us to maybe go over here, then attack, get the road? I mean, not really, no, because it's just so unlikely to happen, yeah. Just a full block is what Helge goes for. And the 9-point field is claimed by Xiangyu, now leading on the scoreboard by 20 points. The monasteries are, well, 1 point apart, so 19 points, 28 points, 21 points, 20 points, 18 points equal 13 points, and then this 17, 20, 24, 23 points is the lead of Xiangyu Qin, and I have somehow, not surprisingly, a quite a high trust on the world champion being able to not lose this game, not fumble the entirety of the game so badly from the situation that I'm pretty sure we can already call it a 2-0 um 2-0 victory. Oh, Helge's still trying to do some tricks. So what can he do actually? Well, so this ruin is now worth 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. So he can go over here, then find a Dorito, then find a city, a road end to go over here, claim these 8 points for the city. After which there are 2 6-point fields to be taken, from which Xiangyu is gonna happily take this one, leave Helga this one. Or just this happens and the city doesn't even get equalized, which brings me an idea. Like, should we have gone over here? Oh, sorry. Should we have gone over here with the curve? To which the answer might actually be no. Because if we are relying on a fantastic tile run out, then we might just roll with that and assume that that red is gonna get either this or this and can't do anything about this square, and then we just connect. Yeah, the hole is deeper than it has ever been before, especially when red just keeps collecting points on every turn and making moves that improve red's position by so incredibly much. Helge goes for a 3-point farmer, which is also gonna be getting blocked unless there is still a vanilla remaining in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which there is not. So this is gonna get blocked unless there just isn't a connection tile here anyways, which might be the case as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I believe there are 2 regular curves and the dagger remaining into this square. Yeah, so unfortunately, Helge, even if he gets the dagger, not going to be able to get advantage of it in the form of these 8 points. I mean, the final nail in the coffin would be if if Red even gets the dagger and gets, well, actually 5 points. Um, so actually this was a small inaccuracy. Um, Red should have gone over here to take 6 points for the road because, well, like 8 points for the city is juicy, but it is net minus 1 point compared to this road move. Not that it matters when Red is gonna win by a gazillion points here. Just just a completely one-sided game here for the Chinese player, but yeah, that's just how things roll sometimes. And this is going to be a really unfortunate news actually for Helge. Really unfortunate news because he now has 0 wins out of 2 matches. And if he is going to try and aim for the playoffs, he will undoubtedly have to win his remaining 3 matches. Like 3 wins is going to be absolutely going to be the bare minimum to get into the playoffs. Yeah, Xiangyu saying that there was some bad luck for Helge, which I do I agree? Well, I guess yes. At least on some parts. Yeah, at least on some parts, but I mean there were decisions that immediately were shaping shaping Blue's position to like actually going into a worse type of position for him after his own actions. So maybe it's not such a huge like surprise the end result. Helge saying there might have been a miscount from Red at some point. Oh, maybe this. Yeah, maybe this. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. So this one, um, the attack at the bottom with a third meeple coming down from red to ensure that the city doesn't get shared. But at that point in game, there was no triple city or the quad city remaining in the deck. So this was certainly a mistake, a waste of a meeple. But by his own words, Red was just trying to be 100% secure that there was indeed no possibility of him losing these points, or let's say not 100% secure that Blue doesn't get these points for the ruin, and thus even went with a third meeple. 2-0, and the second game was won by even a higher point difference than the first one, which brings the reigning world champion to now 2 wins out of 2 matches. To his future opponents, he's gonna have the Austrian El Dorino, who should be a major underdog against Xiangyu. Then we have Alexei, to which, rather unsurprisingly, I have to say that Alexei is going to be a favorite here. And with his final match against Erwin G, against the Erwin Gal, then the world champion is gonna be a he's gonna be having the upper hand here from the get-go, I would say. Just has to worry about not losing by time, because Erwin is an incredibly fast player. Might even be the fastest player online that there has ever been. For Helge, future opponents are going to be the Brazilian Sergas, we have Tito Arce from Chile, and we have Maxim Basiluk from Ukraine. So, well, I can definitely see Helge winning against the Brazilian. Against Tito, I'm not sure if Helge is going to be an underdog or not. At least it's going to be quite an equal matchup, at least, I would say. And against Basiluk, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one, but ain't them all. For the future streams for today, looks like we don't have yet any takers for any of these matches, and the timings have been changed significantly since we last saw them. So first of all, yesterday we used to have matches starting at 16, 17, 18, and 19 UTC, but they have changed to 3 of them taking place at 1800 UTC, and only Mosopal versus Mikhail Rus starting at 1600 UTC. So we will be covering one of these 3 matches for sure. Which one exactly, I do not yet know. I am kind of drawn to cover maybe Stefanakis and Vega Ryan. And we might also cover the 1601 with Mosopol Mikhail Rus. But I think that if we do, it will be 2 separate streams, because I don't really fancy doing all that much like this downtime activities, like in between the matches. I like to keep the content true to the stream title. So either 1 or 2 streams still to come today. And if you want to be seeing those from the very beginning, I suggest you are gonna be subscribed onto this channel. That's gonna be it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in all the way until the end. If you did enjoy this type of Carcassonne content and would like to see more of it, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing or by liking the stream, or if you're watching this afterwards, then leaving a comment down in the comment section. I'll be seeing you soon again today with some more Carcassonne content. Hello. Late hellos to both Xiangyu and Helge in the chat. Congrats and commiserations respectively. Bye for now.